Have questions you want answered? Send them to me. AskBadBrad@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, leave comments. Forget about it. Hey, folks, the man with the pinky ring and the New York thing. Forget about it. Bad Brad Berkwitt, and you're watching another episode of Ask Bad Brad on the Ringside Report web TV channel. Now, make sure you hit that button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. You can leave comments below, but send your questions into AskBadBrad@gmail.com. Again, it's AskBadBrad@gmail.com. And for the folks that were concerned about where they live, just put your name, put part of your name or whatever. That's fine. I want you to feel comfortable sending the questions in. I understand this day and age where we're at. So you do what you feel comfortable with. All right. And as well, follow me on Twitter @BadBradRSR. Again, it's @BadBradRSR. And finally, check out my great writing team on ringsidereport.com. All right, let's get into your great questions today. First up, Bad Brad. Easy question. Johnny Cash or Elvis Presley? Go. JB from Cincinnati, Ohio. JB. That's a tough question because I love them both. I really do. Fantastic, legendary, iconic entertainers. But you asked me to answer, and you know what? When I put these type of questions up on Twitter, it aggravates me when people list two names or tie or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give you my answer. You ready for it? I don't have a drum roll effect. My answer is Elvis Presley. All right. Next up, BB, you were speaking your truth today on Twitter, and brother, we are in the same pew, same gospel song. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to meet like-minded people. How long do you think this madness of the MAGA Republicans can go on in our country? Ronald C. Well, Ronald, thank you for sending in your question. It's a very good question. And it's really kind of simple to answer. You always hear me say, or if you follow me on Twitter, I don't know if you do, that I blame the people that vote the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Matt Gaetz and the Lauren Boeberts and people like that in with their insanity, Andy Biggs and Paul Gosar and so on and so on. They don't go to the voting booths and vote several 100,000 times for them to win. Their constituents go in to the voting booths and they vote. So until people decide that they don't want insanity and they actually want, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, okay, hopefully we get back to Republicans that we disagree on policies, but they're not batshit crazy. Because I said earlier in the tweet, I will talk to Republicans that don't support Trump. We can argue tooth and nail about policies that ones that I'm well versed in. Policies that I'm not, I don't debate on things I don't know. I talk on things that I do know. So until people stop voting in these batshit crazy people, and if they're conservative people, and that's where they are, fine. Find candidates that reflect your views that are batshit crazy. But the problem is, there's a lot of batshit crazy people in this country, and until the other side of that group, Republicans, find candidates in very blood red districts where a Democrat is not going to win, but they find, like in Georgia, the doctor that ran the first time against Marjorie Taylor Greene in the primary, he was conservative, but they talked horrible about him and they pushed him out. Okay? So until that happens, it's not going to change. And I hate to say this, but it's the truth. And I only speak the truth, my truth, but it's what I believe. Even when Donald Trump goes straight to hell, when he drops dead finally and goes to hell, because it's the only place he's going, his ideology is out of the bottle. It's never going back. It's never going back. So we're probably going to deal with this longer than anybody wants to. But again, sane Republicans that are conservative in their beliefs, but don't want batshit crazy, they can fix the problem more than we can fix the problem. Because again, there's districts that you're not going to get a Democrat to win in, no matter how much money you put in, and no matter what happens. So that's the bottom line. All right, great question. Bad Brad, excuse me. Okay, pal, I need you to help me in a heated discussion my friend Anthony and I had last weekend. Goodfellas or The Godfather? Ooh, we're talking two great classics. He goes on to say, I said The Godfather for the record, and he won't budge off of Goodfellas. What is your pick between these two classic mafia movies? Billy B, Queens, New York. Queens, New York. Do I love Queens, New York? Great food, great place. Want to go back and visit. Love. The city is my heart. Want to go back. Okay, again, tough question, but not really for me because there's only one. There can only be one, like in Highlander, right? That is The Godfather. But I will never say that Goodfellas is not a classic movie. I rate it in my top 5. And if you ask me 1 and 2, it's The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. Excuse me. Then Goodfellas number 3. But all classic movies, you can't miss out. Great cast. Francis Ford Coppola at the helm of The Godfather, Martin Scorsese at the helm of Goodfellas. God rest Ray Liotta, who we lost last year. Far too young. It's fantastic as Henry Hill in it. All right, last question. Hi, Bad Brad. I want to ask you if you think it's Elon Musk who is hacking his own people on Twitter. I was hacked last week. If it's not him, then I think it's the GOP. What do you think about it? Babe Aware from Twitter. Oh, Babe Aware, how you doing today? I know you well from Twitter. Thank you for your support on Twitter and of my show. I greatly appreciate you. Okay, here's what I think. When I say Elon Musk has throttled my account, okay, which he has, and other people that I know, he's made it where tweets aren't seen as much and all that type of stuff. Followers aren't as many as they used to be. Your numbers are up and down, up and down. When I say Elon Musk did this, he did do this. He didn't per se do it and sit at the computer because he's not bright enough to do it. He's not actually that bright as he wants to take credit to be. But he's got minions that he pays to do it. So he says jump and they say how high. So that's what's going on. Elon is definitely behind this. He's far right. He's full of shit. He's not going to change. Okay. He suffers from SPS, which is small penis syndrome. Okay. And that's what he has in common with Trump. And that's why they're narcissists, misogynists, liars. He tweeted out that horrible stuff. He retweeted about Mr. Paul Pelosi and then took it down, but everybody had receipts, lied about it. Said he didn't fly to San Francisco after what was the Super Bowl because President Biden's tweet got more and proven that it was, but he denied it. And the thing is, I gave him an opportunity early on when he took over Twitter to come on my show and answer tough but fair questions in his own voice. I wouldn't interrupt him like so many people do on the right when they interview people. Okay, I wouldn't do that. I probably wouldn't have him on anymore because at this point, all he's going to do is lie. But I may entertain it. I may give him a chance if he's seeing this to come on my show. And if you do, Elon, I will let you be heard. But I'm going to ask you tough questions, and you're not going to. If you storm off like Trump does, because you like to storm off out of those Twitter spaces, I heard. Well, that's not going to work for me because you're not going to overtalk me. You're not going to. When I ask you a question, you're going to answer that question. Unlike a lot of politicians on both sides who don't answer the question, they answer everything but the question. I'm going to ask you to answer it, and I'm going to hold you to a question till you answer it, and we'll move on to the next one. But it's probably not going to happen. And by the time you continue with your crap, I probably won't want to interview you anymore. But this much, tiny little bit, Mr. SPS, you could come on the show. No, I'm not a fan of yours, but I will allow you to be heard. So no, I don't think it's the Republican Party, babe, aware. It's Elon through his minions. So, put that in proper perspective and take it any way you would like. But it's definitely Elon Musk. All right, folks, that's another edition of Ask Bad Brad on the Ringside Report Web TV channel. Reminder again, send your questions into askbadbrad@gmail.com. And remember, folks, every act of kindness is a little love we leave behind, and we certainly need a lot more love. And we always close like this. Bad Brad out.